guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl here, Stephanie, in the building. If you have not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to my channel. Turn on your bell notification for new video every single week. I post videos on my channel every Monday, and my channel is all about student immigration, beauty and fashion. My aim for this year is to get my channel monetized, so I would like you guys to please subscribe to my channel and help me achieve this aim. Without further ado, I'm just gonna jump into this video. So today I'm comparing studying in Nigeria to studying in the UK. You can generalize this depending on where you're coming from, but this is mainly Nigeria, but you can use this as Africa as a whole, because I think I would say is relatively the same. So if you're coming from anywhere from Africa, you can also put this into perspective depending on where you're coming from in the world, or mostly Africa. And mind you guys, this is just a quick disclaimer. This is my personal view, my personal opinion, my personal experience. So it depends on you as an individual, how you study and how you kind of assimilate things, really. So it depends on how you study. This will, maybe you might think, oh, that will not work for me, or this will not work for me, but this is my personal experience. So without further ado, what did I just say? Without further ado, I would be jumping in. So I'll be talking about the lectures. Lectures, for me, I find it a lot easier here in the UK compared to over in Nigeria, because here you have a lot of resources. You have the ability to approach your lecturer. I'm not saying you don't have the ability to approach your lecturer in Nigeria, but it's a lot difficult, it's a lot different. Here I'm inclined to say you can speak to your lecturer the way you want. Maybe not, but it's easier for you to just speak to your lecturer. But over in Nigeria is a lot harder. And mind you guys, this experience, it's me. I didn't go to university in Nigeria. I went to university in the UK, and I went to secondary school, primary school in Nigeria. So this is my secondary experience compared to my university experience in the UK. So most of what I'll be saying will be based on my secondary experience. My sister's university experience, I'll be chipping that in as well to help me evaluate things properly. And this is not in any way, shape or form being biased to any country. Like, Nigeria is my country. I love Nigeria so much, but I'm just being honest here. So I would say the lecture here was a lot easy for me to I know the language barrier was there, the accent was there. Sometimes you try to ask a question and the lecturer don't know what you're on about because of the accent. They don't get what you're trying to say. I had those experience, but also because this is an English speaking country and I understand English, it was able for me to transition really well, really quickly. I didn't have much of a language barrier understanding what they were saying. They had a problem understanding what I was saying, but I did not have a problem understanding what they were saying. So it made it easy for me to understand the lectures more. And also the lectures here are mostly practical based, depending on what course you are doing. I find the lectures very practical, and I'm a very practical person. I learn really well when something is shown to me. I'm very visual. I remember things when I have the visual of it. But if I sit in a class and you just pound me with like talking or PowerPoint or whatever, my mind wanders away, and by the time it comes back, I've missed out on so many things and I can't even catch up on what you're saying anymore. So practical it gets my attention. Practical was a lot easier and the best way for me to learn, and that was what I find in this country. They do a lot of practical, which is good. That is why I feel like on that basis studying here was a lot better. or a lot easier for me, I would say. And also seminars. You have stuff like seminars, group assignment, group work, presentations. So when you're in uni over here, you're basically not studying on your own. You're not isolated. I'm not sure about university in Nigeria, but when I was in secondary school, it was more of the teacher teach you, you go back, you study, and you write your exams. You didn't have stuff like group work, group presentation. I remember when I first joined in and I was told, oh, we had our first presentation, and a few weeks later the teacher told me I was taking the next presentation, and I nearly melted because first of all, I didn't have the skills to stand in front of people and speak. Secondly, I didn't have the skills to organize a presentation like PowerPoint, how to get it working, all those sort of technical computerized skills. I didn't have those skills. But that pushed me to go and learn how to do those things. And standing in front of people gave me that confidence to be able to speak out for myself. It gave me that confidence to be able to stand and tell people what I want. It really helped me a lot down the line. So I now understand why they get you to do those things. It's quite important because it builds your confidence, it builds your courage. It helps you, like, in future, if you have to do like a presentation, if you have to do like a speech, it really does help. First, I was like melting, standing in front of other students and speaking was a big challenge for me, but I had to overcome that challenge, and now it's like I love to do those things because I'm very visual and I like to just do things that way. And thirdly, the thing that I would say about studying over here in the UK is the diversity. You have that diversity. Back in Nigeria, we had one or two students that were coming from other country, not a lot, and if you're lucky enough for them to be in your class. But over here, when I came over here to study, I had the opportunity to mingle with other students from other backgrounds, other countries. It was really nice. And like they say, traveling is educating, right? So even if I didn't travel to those countries, I felt like I have, because I kind of asked them a lot of questions. I mingle with them and nearly like try to learn to speak their language, eat their food. And now if you ask me stuff about like Ghana, for instance, I've never been to Ghana, but I know a lot. Some people that I speak to, they're like, how did you know that? How did you know that? Have you been there? And I'm like, no, but I just, I have friends from those countries, and I ask questions, they tell me stories, and this is how I know these things. So diversity was a very important bit in studying, and you kind of get to see different ways of people studying and different ways of like how they had studied from their country coming into the UK. We all put heads together and come up with a brilliant idea, which I thought that was very good. And another thing that I'm going to say is exams. So taking an exam here, I find it a lot easier. You get a lot of help. Over here, they recognize illnesses, they recognize that people have different way of studying, they recognize that people have different way of putting things into words, they recognize that people have different illnesses. Like over here, you kind of have that opportunity, like you could get tested if you struggle with educational stuff. You could get tested if you come out with having illness, like if you have learning situation like dyslexia or dyspraxia, your school will be able to help you out. So they usually give you like extra time during exams for you to take your time, not hurry about, oh, the time that they've given is going to elapse because you have a disability, I would say. So they kind of assist you, they kind of help you to kind of get to your goals. While in Nigeria, issues like that are not very known. So if you have that sort of problem, I'm afraid you might just have to deal with it, because your teacher would not want to listen to the fact that, oh, I'm dyslexia. They don't know those sort of illnesses, and they just put you among other students who are doing their exams, and you just have to crack on. unfortunately. If they're giving everyone else 2 hours for the exam, you're getting 2 hours as well. It doesn't matter what illness or what problem you have. But over here, they recognize that and they try to deal with that. They give you extra time. So that is something that I find quite helpful, quite useful. And also, if you write an exam back in Nigeria, if your teacher defined Obi as a boy, for example, if they ask you in exam, who is Obi, they want you to define it exactly the way they have defined it for you. Obi is a boy. But over here, it's a lot different. They just want to know that you have the general idea of what they're talking about. They just want to know that you know that Obi is not a girl in any shape or form that you can put it. As long as you put the keywords that they are looking for in there, you're happy to go. You would pass that exams. But in Nigeria, you could fail your exam for not putting, you could put those keywords, but even if you haven't put it exactly the way the teacher has done it in their textbook or in their handout, you're very likely to fail that exam. But over here, they just want to see that you know what you're on about. You know, you've got the general idea of what they have taught you. You can put it in your own words, you can put it in your own way, and you will still pass that exams. So that is something that I find very useful here, because again, it prevents you from studying and cramming. It prevents you from doing all those things. Now you're now studying to understand. And once you understand something, you will be able to put it in your own words, but having those keywords there and still coming out with the same result. But over in Nigeria, it was a lot different. And also, one thing I find out studying here was maturity. Because I was away from my family, I was able to mature very quickly. Because when you're over here, you don't have that, your parents looking over your shoulder anymore. You don't have that person trying to tell you what to do, what not to do. So you've got no choice. You just have to mature. You just have to grow up. You just have to do the right thing, especially when you know where you're coming from and where you're going to. And for me as well, I believe to whom much is given, much is expected. My parents have sent me over here to study. That is not an opportunity that everybody gets. So if they have given me that much, I believe I should deliver much, even more than what they have given me. So you kind of dig out deep, you kind of go above and beyond to try to make sure that your parents are not disappointed. Well, for me personally, not everybody, some people don't, but for me personally, I had to get mature really quickly. I had to look after myself. I had to do things for myself, and I had to make my parents proud. So that is something that I felt maybe if I was in Nigeria, it would have been a lot different, because I'll have that comfortable sort of mindset of, I don't have to bother about where my next meal is going to come from, because I would just ring my dad. But being here, I had to worry about those things now. So that is where the maturity kicks in. Then you start prioritizing things, and then you start beginning to put things into perspective of, this is what I need to do, this is what I don't need this, I want this. You start making those decisions for yourself. One thing that I find as well studying in the UK are handouts. If you study in Nigeria, you will be able to relate to this. Studying in Nigeria, handouts are very expensive. You have to pay your lecturer for your handout. But studying over here, your lecturers are literally begging you to take those handouts. They are literally encouraging you. They are literally helping you in every way, shape, or form. So handouts are basically free here. You don't need to pay for those things. Your lecturers just give them to you. One thing again that I find is the way of studying. So over here, you have stuff like the library. I'm not saying you don't have that in Nigeria, but you have the library, which is really easily accessed. You have internet, you have group assignments, group works, you have schoolmates. I'm not also saying you don't have those things in Nigeria, but here I find it a lot easier and a lot better. So the library here is more equipped. You could get help from the librarian. If you need them to help you research stuff, they would go out of their way to do those things for you. That is part of their job. I bet in Nigeria, if you ask the librarian to research something for you, they would chin you off. Like, they would literally chin you off, I believe. But here, they will help you out. They will support you. You have the internet, which is brilliant. Like right now, Google is my best friend. Everything that I don't know, everything that I don't understand, even at work, I just pull out my phone and I ask Google. So you have that to help you out. You have resources, you have textbooks, you have schoolmates, friends, group work, group assignment, group reading. You have all those things. In Nigeria, I think those things are there, but the resources to kind of enhance those sort of things are a lot difficult to come by. So people find it a lot difficult to, you go to the library and it's not fully equipped. What you're looking for is not there, one thing or another, or you need to do group work, but the resources is not there to do it, and you find a hurdle or a barrier, and then everything just die off. So here it's a lot different. It's a lot easier for you to kind of do those sort of thing, and other students just empower you to do stuff and help you sort so many things out. So for me personally, I think studying in the UK was a lot easier for me compared to studying in Nigeria. This is my personal view again, and you could debate on that. It could be different for anybody else. I've had this conversation with quite a few of my friends that I know studied here, and I'm like, so do you find it a lot easier studying in the UK or studying back in your various countries? And quite a few of them has come up with quite good tangible points that you would think, yeah, I think, and most of them have come up with like, yes, they think studying in the UK was a lot easier than studying in Nigeria. And also stuff with studying in the UK, they go straight to the point, if you get what I mean. So if you're studying to be a nurse, they go straight to the point of, you need your biology, you need psychology, you need maths and English, right? That's it. But in Nigeria, you have to do all the courses in the world before then you come to your final year or second year or something. Before you start cutting down, before you get there. Over here, they just go straight to the point. If you need to study to be whatever, what are the courses that are needed for you to do? They go straight to that course, you do it, and that's it. I remember when I was a student here, I was doing 5 courses. My sister, as a student in Nigeria, final year student, I was a first year student, and she was a final year student, and she was doing 9 courses. How is that possible? A final year student, and I was just doing 5 courses as a first year student. So that is the point I'm trying to pass across. Here, they just go straight to the point, and you do what you've got to do, and that's it. They don't have time to beat around the bush, make you do all the courses in the world, your first year, and then your second year you drop 1 or 2, your third year you drop another 1 or 2, but yet by the time you're finishing, you're still having all these courses that are not really relevant. They want you to focus on the things that are relevant, do it, and do it well, rather than carrying all this baggage and then you just scrape out of this, you scrape out of that, you scrape out. So you're literally scraping out to actually achieve a degree instead of actually passing really well. So that is why I find when we Nigerian students come here to study, we find it like a piece of piece, because you're not used to all these resources. You're not used to studying just 2, 3, 4 courses. You're not used to all these things. So you just use that sort of way you've been brought up in Nigeria to study. You put your head down and you come out in flying colors. You don't struggle with things because you're used to way harder things. So when you come here, it's like you've been eating bones all this while, and then you come over here, you're giving flesh. You're like, wow, this is easy. You crack on with things, you do it really well, and you pass. So that is why I feel if you can study in Nigeria, you can study anywhere in the world, because basically Nigeria builds you up really well. I'm not going to sit here and slag the Nigeria education system down. I believe what they are doing, they're doing it for the betterment of the student. They're doing it for you to be able to go anywhere in the world, study, and be the best of what you can be. So it builds you up. It gives you that foundation to know how to work hard, to know how to try to explore things. Here in the UK, people don't explore, people don't go out of their comfort zone because everything is being given to them. In Nigeria, if you're given an assignment, you go out there, you kind of explore the topic, you kind of use different sort of things that you could use to come up with the points that you need to come up with. But here, everything is being given to you. All you need to do is to just read and write what they've given to you. But in Nigeria, you have that ability to kind of explore a bit more, which I find quite useful, very relevant. So I hope this video has answered quite a few questions, because I am doing this video because I got a few questions from some people asking me if studying in the UK was easier than studying in Nigeria or vice versa, and that is why I have done this video. I hope this answers your questions, and if you need any other assistance, if you have any other question, comment down below on this video. Let me know what you think. Do subscribe to my channel. Let's hit the requirements that we need to get this channel monetized this year, so I can make more content for you guys, right? So I can help out a bit more. As you can see, I'm sat in my car because I'm fed up of doing a sit down video where you just see nothing. So hopefully you have the view of seeing my car today, right? So I hope you have enjoyed this video. Give this video a thumbs up, do subscribe, and have a good week, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Bye.